Hello, my friends. What is the source of the information that you store in your brain? Where'd you get that? You see, most instilled human truths that we know, that we learn them as children or from our parents as we grow. And then as adults, a whirlwind of teachings of this world, experience, everything stirs all that up. It often leaves you confused and unsure of what is really going on around here, what really happened. And on every corner of this place, there are those stories of the time before. Every corner of the earth, passed down from generation upon generation of peoples. All the native stories, they line up with the other ones. Sometimes, completely across the world, they're exact. We tell our kids, they adult their kids, and we all learn the same thing. Then again, it gets repeated. You see, we all have ancient sites too, and they're so very similar. Some of them exactly alike, like the old world buildings. If you research this anyway for any type of accuracy and you truly do a diligent job, my, what suspicious activity you're going to find. And did you know that modern men say they know exactly the story on everything? It, it doesn't make any sense. They say, we know about your ancient ancestors, we know their stories. No matter where you live, no matter who you are, what walk of life you are, what continent you're on, it's all just lies. Think about that. They have instilled that inside you, that anything your ancestors left you is complete and utter trash. And why do we accept that? Look at the ones that tell us these things. Are they trustworthy? Do you think? No, no, they're not trustworthy whatsoever. No one should ever listen to these people. They're they're insane. But here's the thing. If you believe mainstream's timeline on history and events that they tell you, and you say, well, they're accurate, I ask you to think rationally about it. I'm not going to push my feelings or beliefs. I only want us as a whole to think, to stop and really, really think. You have to know things are stranger than ever, but let's not be led around, okay? And I'll prove what I'm saying by reasoning as a human being to prove my point. That, well, you're not crazy, they are. So, can you ever imagine, I ask, leaving a letter for a scavenger hunt to your grandkids that went to nowhere? Or imagine telling them stories to remember you by, your life for always, to keep and pass down to their kids. But they're complete lies, just a fabrication of Grandpa's dementia. And what if they found your journals, your letters, or paintings even, encoded with insane messages for the generation long from your time? How strange would that be? And once deciphered, no mystery is revealed, no truth is there. They only realize how batshit crazy you really were. How much sense does that make? I'm asking you. That's completely ridiculous. Like the warnings they gave us about some sort of beings of light. That's insanity. Endless accounts of the supernatural and men, all sorts of creepy things like giants and, scaled beasts and monsters. What kind of lie would that be about? But one that gets me most of all, how evil we are to each other and how we always have been. How God does not exist. Would you make all of that up? Would the entire world's history make all these lies and deceit up and modern man knows everything? But would they know specifically that Grandpa left us a sci-fi book he was writing? He just didn't publish it yet. Or would they read your words and take them to heart? The wisdom of Grandpa and Grandma. Your heart knows that I just spoke is truth. And can you only just imagine ruining countless lives in your family tree and the world even because you insisted the truth is what you have left them? So they shared it with everyone. Then, well, they did exactly what you said. And it ended up being the downfall of anyone that followed or listened and took to heart the story you told of their world. You got millions, if not billions, of people killed. And we're led to believe that all of their friends, And the people that were there at that time did the same thing too to their children and grandchildren? No, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that it was commonplace to make up stories so you could have them enact your terrible schemes and plots and give up control of their minds and thoughts, ultimately ruining the world they inherited. And it be all your fault. If that's true, how sad is that? We all see it. I won't name names, but the children, they read the truth. Hell, they see the truth with their own eyes. Completely, know the truth, even taught the truth. Still, they hide it from the masses for their own selfish gain or desires. Who knows? Who knows what kind of deal they made? This has all been well documented to be absolute, right up to the current events. We see it. We find the story was completely opposite of what we were told that was the truth. A recently well known and established fact that is sadly very, very common amongst humans, past and present. How so very dreadful of death a person must be if they bear such a weight as this. And on top of that, imagine your ancestors spending countless of hours, right, quarrying huge stones, not to mention how they even got them placed or put anywhere, but etching it for days, maybe years. Who knows? What technology did they have? Who knows? They tanned animal hides, though. Think of that. They made ink from scratch that lasts for thousands of years. I, I mean, Bic didn't get a hold of that one, but there was no reasoning behind the madness if this was all for nothing. And just to leave some outrageous nonsense for their children and children's children, the wars and senseless destruction for what? And they claimed on a bunch of this stuff that God willed it on way too much. And, the whole sacrificing in temples is just too much. And they don't hold anything back. The more insane and unlikely a story is, the more all of like the grandparents in the world used it back then on their kids too. And they just changed the story up a little bit. Names, places, or what have you. But most of these stories from our ancestors are exactly the same. Okay? Are we to believe that this deceit has occurred from our family members? Seriously? That we allowed this to even take place is just utterly shameful. Okay? And imagine this too. This is a good one. Your grandson and all his friends, sometime in the future, when you're gone, they get lost forever. They die on some uncharted island alone because you fraudulently made a map that leads to nowhere again, Grandpa? Come on, man. How the hell did this trend, people, of faking these things, these cities, these islands and continents, how'd that start anyway? And based on the maps and first-hand accounts, the giant ships that took sometimes years to build, they left on countless voyages. They came back countless times, and with the same maps that lead to nowhere. And it's not the figment of the imagination of kings, entire groups of people, any friars or priests, or even the explorers. Mind you, these people often made these journeys for their entire lives. There are way too many individual letters, logbooks, journals, and diaries to outnumber the false narrative 100 to 1. It is merely the denial and burial of facts. They just do not coincide with the ones that were provided by the show. I say, how very silly and highly unlikely their story really is. So, I'll ask again. Is this really what we are supposed to believe? That all of our ancestors were so evil and cruel they would pull off such a thing? Such a horrible joke? That's exactly what we're told, right? That's exactly what we are told, and told you need to believe this has happened as truth. Somehow, and I don't understand it, our family and wise men all lied together, collectively, at times, in different places. And modern science and archaeology, they're the ones who actually knows and tells the truth. I mean, okay, Well, I claim the people who just said that claim that they know the truth, were not even present at the time, and they cannot make up events that they themselves did not attend. Just as a perspective of just let's be real. How do you know? How outrageous is that? And this, every single native of every land, is literally called a bold-faced liar by mainstream science. Stop and think about it. Everything that our ancestors have said, they have given the answer to, okay, and made and twisted up their own way, and even rewritten some things. And the reason why they don't, make any sense, because the old stories are all made up that they gave us. Only science and professors, they're the ones who actually know what took place. You see, not any of your foolish ancestors. That's what they're doing to us. Just an archaeologist, he knows best, you know? See, the maps that they made and used are all trash. What they wrote and passed down, that's trash as well. How do we buy all this? I mean, they say you fly through a vast emptiness of dark matter that we cannot see on a spinning ball made of 75% water with a molten, liquid iron core chasing the sun forever. No one knows where you're at. No one knows where we're going. There is no God, no book with your name on it. No such thing exists. No firmament, no heaven, just space, blank space. No truth exists from the time before you. Please. I call the clown show producers out. I have a rule book here that I use. It's been collected throughout the years by the many professors before me. The study of this world has yielded many facts, sometimes hidden plain truths, that are absolute. We just can't see them. And these rules will help one navigate through the many twisted and dark corners that may be found in dealings with the clown show. I'll refer to this manual maybe from time to time. But Crazy World rule number 1: you are not crazy, they are. People, these beings, controllers, whatever you want to call them, they're the liars. The scientists, the archaeologists, especially the holy men of our time, have lost their minds. Calling our ancestors a liar is a common place for them and a common go-to. It's like a way out. Every day they find something new, though. A claim is made with no evidence. But what about our ancestors? No. See, they say things that you cannot hold them to any standard of accuracy for. You have to blindly just accept, what they said. And every day, have you noticed? We see them dig like children, digging in the dirt just for relics, digging up bones of civilizations from our past, always amazed, right? And they're like a new discovery. At this point in time, how can anyone find anything that has not already been found? We know how they find things. Remember, they found, certain places. Well, there was already people there. You didn't find it. You brought yourself there, right? Oh, gosh. But see, most of the time, the claims they make, they're more outrageous than our grandfathers left us. And no one checks them for it. Like how they tell our kids. Well, they tell grown-ups too. But look at this picture. It's looking back in time, billions of years, at a light that has been long extinguished ages ago. We allow that stupidity. I can come up with better stories than this to deceive people. I don't understand who's doing it. But you know what? I think it's done by design this way. I think it's a rule. Like they have to show how stupid it really is. And if you're smart, you won't buy into it. Like a safety net in place by someone or some being, that just to keep us all from going, just gone. To keep them from control all, deleting everything, right? And none of us makes it at all. But how can every inhabitant of Earth know or see the same things, bear witness to the same events, write it in stone, and it be just a figment of one's imagination? It is mind-bending to even suggest, and I hate to say it, but if what they're saying, what we believe, all the stories, they tell us our faith in a God, our faith in the Most High God, all of that is made up. I cannot imagine that. But if it's true, and all our ancestors lied to us all, then y'all, we are the laughing stock of the cosmos, if that is. How pitiful would it be as men? Oh my God. Looking back in time, though, check it out. Do you see how they did it? Look at these places to hide it all, what they did on every continent, how it got started, but how you could find, ruins or destruction or maybe even dig something out of the mud. You could make up your own. But 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 what really happened? The downfall to seemingly every native, what is it? That they did not comply? Tell me why it doesn't add up. Why is history and all belief and trust laid in the hands of these godless people? Not that I want someone to use God when they're doing archaeology, but I don't want someone who worships Satan to do it. Okay, you know, whatever. Okay, tell me I'm anti whatever that is. Okay, but I'm sorry, I don't. I don't want a psychotic person doing something. Okay, none of history, as we've been told, from a modern man especially, can it all be proven. So why did they try to change it so hardcore? Why is it still trying to be changed every day? There must be something very important that, you know, must be hidden to go to such great lengths to try to cover it up. Look at the buildings, use your own eyes, the architecture, the tool marks of technology that we all have seen everything. We've seen it all before. They all tell this way different story. No one calls them out on it. A few people does, but it, who's lying? If you see it with your own eyes, the ruins of the past, and they're everywhere. I'm, they're destroyed. That's it. Some of them, not a stone upon a stone, like it said. And under the ocean, we see it. The jungle canopy, we see it. The sands in the desert, they're still digging things out, amazed at what they find, a new discovery. How in the world is that possible? But again, modern science and academia deny all these findings that we see of subdivisions, like with driveways. What happened to all these people? They're gone. And but only until lately, when technology has outrun their deception, you see people start to see more. Information is so fast, it's hard for them to suppress everything. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, it's all there. And well, it's being slowly revealed, but it's controlled. It's hidden, and piece by piece people, throw it in, but it's mixed with propaganda and countless endless lies to cover one real truth. It's a huge show, though, but it plays out in real time, and it's played with either real or staged events. It doesn't matter. The clown show cares not. All crazy is welcome and all hours of operation. Now, any subject, you pick it. It's been tainted with the fabrication of a make believe timeline of events. And with the AI becoming smarter and more powerful, well, it gets much easier for them every day. And I suspect the reasoning for such a cover up, the deeds that were done. It is the only plausible and most believable explanation if you stop and think about it. Covering up something bad. Why else would one go through so much? Look who we deal with. They make the old mafia look like saints. You really think they tell you the truth about your world? With the lies that they're caught in, that you yourself probably know, what credibility do they have with you? With me, none. Think of this, what we're led to believe. Now, this one gets me the most of all, and as a human being, I want you to think about this, not as a scientist or a professor or what color you are, where you come from, but this is the story they tell us. No one could have expected how, when the explorers showed up, anyone they were around came up dead. You hear that? Either they had to have wars with the natives, maybe that's what killed them, or this made up story about the usual, right? Y'all, I know you've heard it. Everyone was sacrificing to virgins, and or virgins is when everyone was killing women and children. And we grew up hearing it, to kill the savages, right? They were savages. Those with eyes to see know everything is opposite here. See, they're the killers, not them. Not a group of a few thousand innocent people minding their own business when all of a sudden the clowns show up. If only, if only these people had known, right? But seriously, how is it that sickness is not known to their land for all these thousands of years, and suddenly comes along, these guys, and something gets on you and wipes everyone out? When they showed up to say hello, how can it be that whatever made them sick had never been introduced into their bloodline before on this earth? How? This is a closed system. They acknowledge that. So how? Is that even remotely possible of an assumption to make, given the explanation taught to us as fact? Somehow, see, that does not add up. We know that travel around the world was common, and it was considered an adventure. Trading, that was the primary way people got stuff. Period. Anything they needed. There were no malls or sporting goods stores, you know. But even today, the same thing goes. If you live somewhere remote or across the world, we don't have those things. Well, back then, there's no malls, sporting goods stores, or nothing like that. So, well, they would take what they have where they live and trade it. Well, you too can do that. You got something where only you live and only you have. I bet it's worth money and value. Crazy world fact number 49. Travel and trade by individuals has not always been regulated by clowns. So think of the story there. It's impossible. Okay, if you have a bug on one continent, exclusive to a certain place, if you visit another group of people, they all die. Well, they're humans just like you. Well, why'd that happen? However, see, it's always been this way. This sort of action was called alchemy at one point in time and outlawed under penalty of death, believed to be the works of evil men and psycho wizards and witches. Your family only needed to heal you with the medicine of the earth, what it provided. For every sickness, there was a cure. It used to be, but not no more. Absolutely not no more. Things this world should have never and would never have been exposed to unless man altered it. Even being caught red handed, up to no good whatsoever, still, they plan for the next event. Yep, untethered man have not created. They merely mutated life and corrupted it. Man cannot create, and that is the truth. A cell is put before any scientist or chemist on the face of this earth, and when that cell dies right in front of them, they cannot bring it back to life. Why? Because they do not know what is lost. They don't know what sort of force that just left it, because there's no chemicals they can add. There's nothing they can mix. Nothing. So, that is why it is so dangerous. Because now it's evil. You didn't make anything. You took something good and corrupted it. So what does it do? It does just that. And like we're told from long ago, that beings mixing genetics and blood of all things until everything was deemed trash, everything become entirely corrupted. And guess what? It had to be reset by God. That's what we're told. And they still do the same. But I ask you, as a human being, do you think God, okay, the one on top, the creator of the heavens and earth, no matter who you call him, do you think that he would make something that you cannot see that would kill every single person in existence? And all you need is for these people to bump into one another? Of course not. Only the foolish would think that is truth. Their own evolution of events does not even allow such nonsense. That has been and is long gone by their timeline. Evolution. See, they want you to believe evolution is to blame that altered that over all these millions of years, turn it into some evil little being. No, it is not that. It is their mingling with stuff they have no business messing with. No way it was that created that way. The abominations that they have twisted to life, they are their best shows yet, though. It works well to cleanse a place of any unwanted life forms silently. This they have found out to be the least conspicuous and most effective. Clowns. Mm, but it's not true, you might claim. Modern medicine has helped us break through to a more healthier being than ever. Any time before that, people just died at 25 years old. What? People die for no reason. And scientists came along and healed the sick. Okay, cool story they told you, right? Because see, here's this. The same scientists that literally try every day to end us all alleges that we've been here for billions upon billions of years, and you have literally been here millions of years, your descendants, and you're a descendant, and your great grandfather was a monkey, and you believe them and not your grandfather. If that's the case, it is sad if you feel that way. But let's break it down. If you're reading into this correctly and still with me so far, no matter how much sugar they put on all this stuff, it's no good to me. They told us our family's history is all lies and only they tell the truth. And they give us all this mess. And no matter how many times we prove them wrong, they take the same crap and pour glitter on it and they repeat it. And, well, as a professor of crazy, I am accused often, or even they say I deny it because I refuse to accept ignorance. Why? Because it does not add up, no matter how you approach it. I'll use the clown show rulebook again. Here we find Crazy World rule number 2. If a place, thing, or idea smells like shit, it is, no matter how much glitter is added. There's no way possible this is just a coincidence, people. None of history is. Calling our ancestors a liar while they do all sorts of weird crap. I mean, think of the unclean and evil acts under the sun these people do. They're unacceptable by my standards. I don't know. And see, the worship of wood and stone. I mean, every single word that we're left as a warning pops up. These false gods of old, rituals and sculptures of animals and beasts. And I mean, exactly word for word, right? The sacrificing of the innocent to things not of this world. It's exactly the definitions of a nut job, a sick person, a clown, not a healthy, normal person. Who would choose darkness over light? Surely not a human being. And I see slowly but surely, bit by bit, even though they have proclaimed all this prosperity and freedom to all, and unity and diversity is their goal. Don't you just see wickedness and the slick tongue of someone doing one thing and saying one thing? It doesn't make any sense. You see, their true colors. From the agenda meetings they hold and boldly say stuff to our faces, right? And these are people that don't run countries. They weren't elected officials. But our elected officials go listen to these clowns? Mm-mm-mm. Wow. See, truth. Here is what our grandfathers left us. Not the fake history lesson that we received by these idiots. See, that was to make you stupid, to keep us hating one another. With all of their false gods and teachings, they knew that everyone would pick it right back up again and just go more and more and more deep into the rabbit hole as they went, just eating up all the lies they left behind to everybody. And with all that being said, don't be tricked anymore. Just look back again next time and you're going to see it. They're all in on it together. The entire stage is filled with like actors and snuggle bunnies. It was said if strong men and warriors all talked and made the cowards all go fight for nothing, that all wars would end. Imagine that truth right there. But the show must go on. And for it to last till the end, everyone must participate. It needs your life force and mine to keep it going. Without you and I, they have nothing to rule over. They're not worthy of being called kings or wise men. Not one of them. I say free them. Let them go play D&D with each other in a park somewhere till the end of days and leave us all alone. And in closing, I'll leave you with this. If ever you doubt your faith and this place makes you stumble, it's okay, my friend. This place got a way of doing that to the mightiest, trust me. And, well, stay good, stay kind, right? Somebody already paid the bill for you. You don't have to act so silly. And when it gets too much and you don't understand it, it gets overwhelming, and I know it. And if you want to know if something is true or not, just remember the place that you live at, where you were born, and it'll answer you. You are on earth, a crazy world where it said, even the angels did sin. You see, that sounds about right, because that's exactly where I live for sure. A place so bad, even angels can't help it but get in trouble. I love you all. I'm Wild Dog, and I am out of here.